Inez. And as for why he left, Butler is being kind of cryptic. I've decided to leave for more than musical differences, he says.
If whatever people say not to do to the kids, they're making more of a deal out of it than it is. I mean, before they start stickering albums, what about the sale of firearms? What about the problem with drugs in this country? There's far greater issues than rock and roll.
And ditto, that goes double for us.
That's right.
Way to go, Ozzy. Ozzy, what's he doing now?
I think he's getting ready to start a new record. Just came out with an EP.
Wasn't it a live album?
That's what I just said. It was a live album. I said that just now.
We have this kind of like, what's this, chemistry?
Rapport.
Rapport.
That's because we speak French.
Over the bonjour.
Publicity-loving John Cardinal O'Connor claimed that metal acts such as Ozzy Osbourne actually promoted Satanism.
I'm not a Satanist. I don't worship the devil, and I mean, it takes me all my time to conjure myself out of bed in the morning, let alone to conjure the devil up.
You understand?
I was asked to put my views forward about what I feel about censorship. I've been fighting this thing personally for the last 5 years with different various people trying to sue me for different things. And I'm glad to see that we're all finally making a stand and having a fight back, you know, because it's all so ridiculous. If you don't do anything, you may not be able to buy the albums or read the books or see the movies that you want. If you vote, you can tell the people who make decisions that we won't remain silent any longer.
I've been eligible to vote for
All its forums in all places.
Remember, your vote is your voice.
How you doing?
Great, I'm doing great.
So, you're working on some new stuff right now?
Yeah, we're writing like little maniacs. I don't see a release till the new year, but I'm writing loads of stuff. It's, really, it's different, it's good stuff.
In the way of different, what do you mean? I mean, I'm like the biggest Ozzy Osbourne fan, so this is like great. It's what?
I write in a tutu.
In tutu?
No, you wait and see stuff, but I don't want to give any secrets about it. It's going to be good.
And obviously you're going to be back on the road when...
Oh, I'm always on the road.
Uh-huh.
And I have a house somewhere.
Haven't seen it yet, though. Now, you have a different guitarist this time?
No, Zach.
Oh, Zach is still playing, but you have a different member. I read things and I just file them somewhere. I'm sorry, do you have was there somebody else that was playing in your band that wasn't, so you're playing with the same guys?
I think so, I hope so.
Oh, didn't you hear it? No, okay. So anyways, so what has Ozzy been doing lately? We saw you in Sam Kinnison's video.
Oh yeah, that was a trip. That was, Sam and I become very good friends. I've just been writing songs out in Los Angeles, and it's the first time I've been in New York for a while, but I've been writing songs.
Well, it's very, very good to have you here, and I'm glad you could stop by on my birthday show. This is very cool. I mean, I requested a video, and Ozzy came down. So here was one of my birthday requests on my birthday show, Ozzy Osbourne with Crazy. You have a different guitarist this time?
No, Zach.
Oh, Zach is still playing, but you have a different member. I read things, and I just file them.
Ozzy is in the studio right now working on the new album, and yes, he does have a new bass player. Maybe it was just a premonition I had. Read the book.
Mike Inez is a guy from California, LA. He's a good guy. He's another unknown, good-looking guy. The chicks love him. And he's great. He's a great bass player. When I put that Close My Eyes Forever out with Alita, it was great because I thought, yeah, it can work in another area. You know, I'm not going to do anything on my album with Lisa because nothing's planned so far. But I want to be able to, you know, being Ozzy Osbourne and stuck in the same heavy metal bag, it's very difficult for one to sort of branch out into different areas because everybody thinks I sing about the devil all the time. It's not the case, you know. It gets boring and gets tired quick, you know.
Yes, this is Ozzy Osbourne, and according to the man himself, deep down inside, this is the way Ozzy Osbourne has always been.
People look at my album covers and think it's just black, death, suicide music, and it's not that at all, you know. I always write ballads, and when I'm writing myself, I always tend to go to the ballad side. It's when we get together as a band that it gets heavier.
Osbourne has yet to record a whole album of just ballads, and the new one he's writing for now won't be it either. The music is once again trademark heavy, and the lyrics draw heavily on Ozzy's ongoing battle with alcoholism.
It's a very personal album. It's like a lot of pain in the album from inside, you know, because pardon?
Why pain?
Well, you know, my problems with getting resurrected from the dead after the alcohol situation and trying to get myself on. It's tough, you know. It's one day, in the daytime, you have to really look at yourself, and you don't really want to look at yourself and what the problems are inside. When you don't drink, that's what happens. That's why you drink. That's why I drink. Stuff a lot of pain away.
Osbourne will definitely need his wits about him in the current cultural climate here in the States. A frequent target of right-wing rock haters himself, the singer is now watching some fellow British metal vets and Judas Priest get raked over the coals at a teen suicide trial in Reno, Nevada.
This Judas Priest case that's going on at the moment. The kids are hardly involved in alcohol and drug abuse. I think that's where they should start, not the music, because, I mean, when you're stoned on LSD, you can think of flies like a monster, you know. And you know, drugs and alcohol are at the root of all these problems, and I think a lot of parents are trying to pass the buck, if you don't mind me saying.
Despite appearances, Osbourne and his band are rehearsing a number of songs that could only be called earth-shaking. In fact, during one recent rehearsal, the earth actually shook.
It's great fun. I thought, man, this is real good music. The building's shaking. Zach turned down. I said, Zach, turn the guitar down, the building can't take the pressure. Oh, screw them, man.
Yes, at the age of 41, Ozzy Osbourne still sees a seismic shift as the perfect complement to his Richter scale music.
I love earthquakes. I do. It's so much fun. Everybody panics and starts screaming and standing on the doorways and running out in the street. Ah! This is a video shoot that we're doing now, which is the title album. It's called No More Tears.
It was originally called No More Beers, but they wouldn't go for that, so it was like, well, we started crying.
Like it, right?
We started crying, no more beers. Oh, no more tears, okay.
Whenever they give you a script which is like 40 pages deep, you read it, and when you get down to the set, they've changed it anyway, you know. So it's a waste of time. So, you know, I say, well, what do you want me to do? And they go, well, Ozzy, can you shake your head vigorously at this point? I go, yeah, okay, and I rattle my head, and my brains fly around my skull, and then that's that one then, you know. This record has taken so much out of me emotionally. All I've done for the last, year and a half is go to the studio, back home, to the studio, back home, go crazy, go back, you know. Making a record nowadays isn't as easy as it used to be, you know, because there's so many technical things to do in the studio. It's like you could put me in the flight deck of Star Trek, and I'd probably know more about that than a recording studio.
You got to give Ozzy credit because he stuck to his guns and he still doesn't compromise his style. You know, they said don't write anything controversial, so the first thing he does is write a song about a pervert, you know.
No, and then the second album is totally about Satan and all the lyrics. I mean, you know, if you put it backwards, it's just unbelievable, man.
You know, I've done some crazy things, so what, you know, we all have. I don't regret a thing that I've done, you know. I'm proud of what I've done, you know. I mean, I'm Ozzy, man, and you know, I live for my work, you know. I will not stop working, put it that way. You know, like on every Ozzy album, there's like the dramatic track. Like on the last album, it was Fire in the Sky. On Diary of a Madman, it was the track Diary of a Madman. Well, this is that one, like the Ozzy dramatic track. It's very varied. There's some good rock stuff. There's some great, there's a couple of real strong ballady type things. It's like variety. Like I always try and put on every record variety. I mean, I don't like listening to a record that, from start to finish, it's like having somebody beat you over the head with a hammer, like non-stop, like bang, bang, bang. So I always try and put a bit of colour by doing different mood songs.
Wagener respectfully declined an invitation to take part in the project.
To accommodate the rush of fans.
I love Guns N' Roses more than anything in the world.
In Manhattan, rock star Ozzy Osbourne took advantage of the crowds in record stores last night to promote his new album by shaking hands and signing autographs. He wasn't bothered by comments that he was trying to cash in on Guns N' Roses' popularity.
There's enough room for everyone. I don't care. I mean, you know, good luck to Guns N' Roses. They don't need any luck, you know.
Also
in the shade, but British metal vet Ozzy Osbourne, who also released a new album today called No More Tears, got in on the after midnight action last night by popping up at record stores around New York City that were open late selling Guns records. Here's a look at the response he got.
Because of you, I'm attracted to older men.
All right. Look, guys.
Don't forget about Osbourne, man. Been waiting years to meet you, man. I love you, man.
It wasn't a planned thing that to be released at the same time as Guns N' Roses. It was just a coincidence, you know. And you've got to put your record out sooner or later. And you ain't going to sit there thinking, when are they going to put theirs out? As I said, screw this. You know, I've been doing it 23 years. I ain't scared of nobody, man.
Osbourne is our interview of the week this week, and tonight he's going to tell us about a theater tour he's got planned to support his new album, which sounds as if it's going to be very theatrical.
I decided that I wanted to do a theater tour before I go into the arenas. And the reason being, it's like the closeness. I wanted to make it an event. And what I've decided to do to the theatre, the whole theatre is going to be a part of it. It's going to be all decked out from when you go into the theatre. You're not going to pay your dough, go in, get your seat and sit and wait for the curtain to open. The whole thing is going to be an event. I always like to get back to the audience, you know, because when you're playing these arenas, like you got the crash barrier, then you got 25 feet before you can see a kid. It's great to have that closeness of the kids, and I love it when they jump on the stage and everybody is, you know, I feel part of the whole deal, you know. It's like an Ozzy Osbourne party, and I want everybody to come, and I want everybody to go crazy, you know.
Ozzy, our interview of the week subject, was surprised to see it himself.
I saw some clips from it, and this guy who's doing this guy Jeb, has done some research where he's got footage on me that I never ever had a clue that was in existence. He's got footage of like old stuff, where it was from, when it was filmed, where we were, or what. I just don't know. You know, I just don't know. Mind you, though, I didn't know where I was.
Ozzy Osbourne, who released a new album on Tuesday called No More Tears. Over the years, Osbourne has been repeatedly attacked by censorious moralists for being everything from a devil worshiper to a promoter of teen suicide, even though his most frequently beleaguered song, Suicide Solution, is actually about his late alcoholic friend, the one-time AC/DC singer Bon Scott. We asked Osbourne what he thought about such relentless notoriety, and here's what he had to say.
Why is it that my records are released all over the world, and yet only America finds subliminal, all these other, what's his other new word now, messages on my records? Why hasn't there been other suicides like around the world apart from America? Don't you think that parents should start looking at the way things are going on with their kids? I am a parent, so as a parent, I am responsible to them children, you know. And so if they're doing something over the top, I've got to do something about it, or at least try.
All I started out to do was to have a good time playing with a rock and roll band. And we played our guitars a little bit louder than everybody else.
According to Marriott, Ozzy is God.
Ozzy, you're God.
I think it's really cool that for the first Lifetime Achievement Award to go to Ozzy, Ozzy's name has been synonymous with heavy metal music as long as we can all remember. I think there's Ozzy as a singer, and then there's everybody else.
Me and a bunch of guys a few years ago got a band together called Black Sabbath. And we're still doing it, man, 23 years later. And I hope we're still doing it in another 23 years, because I love it. I don't know about you. Thank you very much. I'm honored that I've been chosen, and it makes me feel good that my peers respect me like they do.
Ozzy, you are God!
Ozzy rule, it's convention rule.
Think Ozzy is a god?
Oh, I don't know about that. He's godlike.
That I think this next album is going to be like one of the biggest Ozzy records yet. I mean, is it getting, you know...
No, you know, you know, when you write an album, when I write an album with the band, we just sit down and we write tunes that we like. And people are coming up to me and saying, "Hey, Ozzy, man, this is your most personal album yet." Well, for a start, Lemmy from Motorhead wrote 4 sets of lyrics. The producer wrote 1 set of lyrics, and the band and I wrote the rest, you know.
You worked a lot with Zach and Randy this time, didn't you?
Yeah, it's
more like a band.
A band collaboration, and it was so much fun, you know. I mean, and that's the way I want to work from now on, because, you know, I'm not always right, neither are they, and we get the thing ironed out. And what we thought was right, when we got in the studio, John Pardell and Dwayne Barron, they said, it's not right yet, and they added their little bit, and then it all worked out fine in the end. And No More Tears was quite a weird thing, the way that happened. Michael Inez joined the band, and we were finishing up doing pre-production. And we'd been writing for about 2 years. And he's just got this riff on the bass, you know. I said, that's cool. And then John Sinclair came with a keyboard thing. And it was just the last 3 days of rehearsal, pre-production. We were going in the studio, and like half of it was written in those last 3 days, and the rest was put together in the studio. And I just thought it was an album track, you know. I thought, you know, it'll do if they want to put it on the album. Everybody just goes, wow, man, you know, it's great. And at that point, we never had a title for the album. And I was sick and tired of calling the album, like, Speak of the Devil, No Rest for the Wicked, The Devil. Everybody that hears it flips out over it. So why don't we call the album No More Tears, you know?
But I've heard rumors, which I hope is not true, that you're not going to be doing a studio record. Is this going to be the last studio record?
No, it's not going to be the last studio record. I don't really know at this point, Ricky. You know, all I've been doing for the last 10 or 20 years is touring and recording and touring and recording. And I would really like to have a time to say, okay, Ozzy, what do you really want to do, you know, with music? I mean, I'm not going to become like I'm not going to retire and like rock and sit in my rocking chair and look at my. I mean, that's not mine. Like that's not Ozzy Osbourne, you know. I mean, wherever some action is, you'll probably find me there. But I don't really know. I mean, I've now discovered if I do continue the Ozzy Osbourne thing, it will not be Ozzy Osbourne. It will be more like the Ozzy Osbourne Band.
Now, that's another rumor I heard about maybe you doing some sort of a supergroup thing. I'm just hearing all these rumors. Just want to clear them up for me.
That's another possibility. But then again, with all these supergroup things, they last 5 seconds because you got like 5 egos thinking they're better than each other, and you know, I ain't got time for all that crap. You know, I just want to get on with making a good album and getting on the road. You know. But I'm not going to change my musical. I'm not going to start doing like rap music or dance music or anything. I'm still going to be like heavy. But I haven't really made a concrete decision yet. My wife and I have been discussing things, you know. But when it comes time, I'll sit down and I'll really, as time goes on, because now the album's released. I'm going on the road for a long time with the band, you know, and see how things work out on the road and what I'm thinking I want to do after the tour and it's about 2 or 3 years off anyway.
You're having a good time now.
Oh, I'm having a blast now. I mean, you know, I'm looking forward to playing tonight. You know, it's a bit late, midnight, but you know.
Midnight's a good time for Ozzy Osbourne, I think.
Yeah. By the time I get on there, I think they'll all be well inebriated or whatever.
Yeah, but that's been like the buzzword about for the past 3 days. Everybody's like, Ozzy Osbourne's going to play. We're going to see Ozzy. So I think people will wait.
You know, it's the funny thing actually. The other night I was down to get an award here, and it was just pandemonium. It was, you know, just leather jackets and studded belts for days, you know, like headbangers all over the place. And I go to the men's room, and this guy standing in the next thing taking a leak, you know. How can I say that, can I?
Taking a leak, yeah, you can say taking a leak.
And then the guy looks over the booth to me and he goes, "Hi, lads." And I don't know whether this guy's a manager, a band member, or what. And he goes, and he's really cool, this guy is. And he coolly walks out the door and he just goes, "Hey, I just took a pee with Ozzy Osbourne." I thought, do I have that kind of an effect on people, you know?
He was glad to know that you even had the same bodily functions as us. Well, we'll come back and talk to Ozzy in a little bit, but right now let's play the video, New Ozzy. Why don't you introduce it for us? Great guitar sound in this by Zach, I might say.
No more tears.
Ricky Rackman here at Foundations Forum 91, and right now found a little secluded place to talk to Ozzy Osbourne. We were talking a little bit earlier about your new album, and with the new album, you usually go out on the road. And I've heard that you're doing things a little bit different than playing the regular arenas on this tour, right?
We're starting off doing the theatre tour, but it's not just, we're doing 20 theatres, I believe. But it's not just 20 theatres, it's kind of like an eventful thing. It's like, lots of surprises are going to be there, like things that, well, I'm not going to give too much away, you know. It's not just like you go, you pay and sit down and watch the show. It's a lot of interesting things going to be happening. It's going to be well worth it.
Just don't want to give too much of it away.
No, but it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Now, also, a little bit earlier, we talked to a couple of guys from Infectious Grooves, and they told us what a thrill it was to work with you. I mean, I talked to Mike Muir, and he was saying, oh, he was in the studio, and he was listening to the headphones and thinking, you know, about listening to Ozzy and going in his room and turning it on, and then looking, and then you were there in the studio with him. I mean, how did that whole thing come about?
We were in the same studio, and I was in one studio, and he says, somebody said to me, Infectious Grooves are in the studio, and I said, who are they? What are they about? I didn't even know what they were. And isn't it two guys from Suicidal Tendencies and some other guys? And I went in there and he said, would you sing this thing? I said, sure, you know. Don't tell anybody, but of course everybody knows, you know.
You have a voice that, you know, nobody can really, I haven't heard anybody copy it yet, so it's like, listen, it's like, that's Ozzy's voice.
You can't disguise it, no. I even did a thing with Dweezil Zappa, which got canned.
I heard it.
Which, yeah.
Staying Alive, the Bee Gees song. It was brilliant. And how come you can't ever hear that?
I don't know. It was the politics involved. It was a dragger.
Well, I heard that. I could sing it to you, but it wouldn't sound the same, so. It was great. The Bee Gees song, Staying Alive, with Ozzy singing.
It was quite funny, actually. I never realized how stupid those lyrics were, you know.
Foundations Forum Awards, and you won a pretty big award.
I don't know whether it's a pretty big award. I mean, when I'm 42 years of age and I got a Lifetime Achievement Award, I kind of got the impression that people want me to get out of the picture now. No, I was very honoured that I got an award of that, but it's a bit of a monstrosity-looking thing. I don't think I'll have it on my mantle show. I mean, my grandchildren are going to think that their grandfather was a pretty weird dude, you know. When they realize, well, this was my dad, one when he was 42, you know.
I just can't imagine your
skull with its eye hanging out and a guitar neck sticking through it or something. Right. It's kind of heavy duty.
Now, you also had Rick Rubin present you with the award. Is there a reason for that?
Rick Rubin was one of the choices for the producers for the No More Tears thing, but the album that Rick had in his mind and the album that I had were two separate albums, and from that we maintained a friendship. We both we're both on this same health kick, you know. And we both, it's really interesting. I got out of town and I met him there and I said, Rick, you lost more weight. He goes, Ozzy, you lost more weight, you know.
Yeah, you do in the new video. I mean, you look healthier than I think I've seen you look.
Well, I just, you know, having Zach in the band is weightlifting crazy. I mean, I think his ambition is to lift up the Empire State Building single-handedly. I mean, he can lift like ridiculous amounts. You know, but having him has spurred me on, you know. And, you know, it's kind of like a good pastime as well. I've got a life cycle and I run and, you know, you got to keep...
The new leaner, meaner Ozzy.
And I don't eat meat. That means, you know, no more bat questions.
Oh, that's right. We got to think of new ones. Like, did you hear Ozzy ate a ear of corn on stage? he bought the head off a cabbage.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just take a look, and thank you for taking the time to talk to us. Let's take a look at the little bits and pieces of what happened with Ozzy got the Lifetime Achievement Award the other day.
Somebody asked me the other day, Ozzy, if you had the choice, would you do it all again? I wouldn't hesitate. I've had a blast. I made quite a lot of people happy. And I made quite a lot of people quite mad at me as well, you know. I mean, like cardinals and things.
Also have Ozzy help you a little bit out on the Infectious Grooves record, right?
Yeah, Ozzy sang on a song called Therapy and stuff, and yeah, I was slamming. It was really funny because like a couple days before, they came into a studio right next to us and we didn't even know it, and we were talking about the song and I was going, you know, it sounded really cool, like someone like Ozzy was singing the Therapy part. And then like a couple days later, Mark Dawson, who was producing the record, said, he goes, guess who's coming over to the next studio? I said, who? He goes, Ozzy. Kind of said, well. And then he came by the studio and he said, yeah, I heard you guys wanted to talk to me. And we had the song up, we played it for him. He goes, I can't say the word. He said, swell. Yeah, he said, swell. And we go, yeah, you think you might want to sing on it? He goes, can I? He goes, give me the headphones. And it was like, cool. So we went in there and he did it, you know. So it was like really trippy for me because they said, okay, Mike, go out there and cue him. And so like the one time when it came on, I was like tripping because remember I had the headphones on like when I was a kid, listening to Black Sabbath, and we had them old stereos that had the lights on, so I'd put like tape over it so my mom had came in and she would see that she couldn't see the lights, so think it wasn't on, and I started thinking about all that stuff, and the part came and then all of a sudden I hear in the headphones, Mike, and they said, you did cue? I said, oh. It was really trippy because, you know, like we grew up listening to Black Sabbath, so that's like, it was slamming, and to get the tour is great.
So that you can see when you go to the Ozzy. Now tell us why it's great, Mike.
I ain't gonna use this because I'm talking too much, but I don't give a damn because I'm gonna say it. But when I was a little kid...
If you keep on talking, they can't edit it, so don't leave any free space. Just keep on talking, Mike.
Exactly. When I was a little kid, you know, when you get in a fight and stuff at school and people talk about, well, your mama wear combat boots to church, if I would have said, yeah, but one day I'm going on tour with Ozzy Osbourne, they would have really thought I was crazy, which is the point. That's why we're doing the tour, because I am crazy. Thank you very much.
So there you go. It's Infectious Grooves.
Ozzy, thanks for coming. Well, what do you think of the show so far?
I've never heard anything so bizarre in my life, you know.
So, how are things? How's the family?
My kid went to see a movie the other night and got run over.
That's nice. Well, Ozzy, I just wanted to tell you that I really loved your last album. You know, I really loved your singing and that guitar thing and do you know what they call that thing where you hit it and it makes a loud noise and it keeps the beat?
Yeah, it's called a drum.
Oh, and how does it go?
That's it.
Thanks, Ozzy. Who would you say is your biggest musical influence?
What's that black guy's name who got done from that rap band?
Wayne Newton?
Yes, yeah.
Huh, interesting. What do you think about squatting down in a tub full of mayonnaise?
I love it.
Really? Why?
It's fun, you know.
Have you ever bitten the head off a live poodle?
Yeah.
Oh, what was that like?
It's just fun.
Have you ever eaten worms dipped in horseradish?
You know, it's good, you know.
Have you ever... Oh, no. Oh, Ozzy, did you cut one?
Don't blame me.
Come on, it was you.
Not saying a word.
There's only two of us here. It had to be you.
It may be, it may not be, I don't know.
Listen, Ozzy, it's stuffy enough in this basement already without you dropping stink bombs.
I don't regret a thing that I've done, you know. I'm proud of what I've done, you know.
Well, good for you. Hey, you want to know what I have in my pants?
I don't want to know.
Go on, ask me.
Don't even ask. I really don't want to know.
Look, it's my bologna sandwich. I've been looking for this for weeks. You want some? Well, okay, never mind. I don't know, Ozzy. I don't think this interview is going very well.
Tell me what you want me to say.
Okay, we can do that. Let's see. Say lippy-lippy or pipey sinking.
Lippy or pipey sinking.
Now say, hey, Ma, pass the hammy sink.
Now, what the hell is hammy sink?
Come on, you're not playing right. Okay, now go like this. Now, mumble something completely incoherent.
I mean, they've even interviewed.
Great. Well, this is getting kind of old. Ozzy? Ozzy's kind of a stupid name. Do you mind if I call you Bob? Never mind. Have you ever seen Ernest Goes to Camp?
That's a cool movie, man.
I could get a projector and show it on my butt.
I want to see it there.
Well, Ozzy, we're just about out of time. But before you go, I have to ask you something. Have you had a chance to listen to my new album?
Oh, yeah.
Well, what'd you think?
It is total bullshit.
Okay, well, thanks for dropping by, Ozzy. It's been great. Don't bump your head on the way out there. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Kid Joe opening. Ozzy and his band are fresh from a Los Angeles studio where they recorded some new tunes that will flesh out a live album to be recorded on the No More Tours tour.
For it this time, I'm metal veteran Ozzy Osbourne. He'll be resuming what he says is his last tour in Miami on August 14th. Osbourne had interrupted the tour to be with his wife and manager Sharon Osbourne while she underwent surgery, which we're told was successful. So now he's rounding up his opening acts, Ugly Kid Joe and Slaughter, in preparation for a return to the concert fray. Take a look.
22 years on the road and still ticking, Ozzy Osbourne is finally talking about ending his touring days. Not because there's no work, though. In that department, Ozzy says he's had an incredible run of good luck.
I'm proud of what I've done, you know, coming from the background, and the very fact that I'm 42 years of age and people still want to hear my music, and I'm still on the road, you know.
Well, Ozzy has said that this is his...
It's Monsters of Rock weekend. For the next 4 hours, we're going to be taking a look back at the best rock videos of 1990. Right now, we're at Rip Magazine's 4-year anniversary party at the Hollywood Palladium. Obviously, it's a very, very big party because right now, I'm here with Ozzy Osbourne. How you doing, Ozzy?
I'm doing great.
Last time I saw you, you were on my birthday show.
Yeah, we keep meeting at these events, man.
So how's everything been going?
Great. I'm working hard on an album. I'm still writing. Hope to be recording as soon as possible.
So tell us a little bit about, can you give us like some surprises, some little...
It's a little confusing because I've gone in all kinds of different musical directions, and right at the end of the day, I want to write some more hardcore stuff, you know. I've been investigating lots of new areas in music.
What do you mean by like new areas?
Different approaches to it, you know. Some of it's good, some of it's not so good, you know, but it'll work out, I'm sure, at the end of the day.
Now, I also understand that possibly tonight you're going to, like Faith No More, we can hear playing in the background right now, you might go on stage with them?
Oh, yeah.
Do?
War Pigs.
Perfect. Have you played with them before?
No, only this afternoon at soundcheck, and I couldn't remember the lyrics, so...
What do you think of hearing Faith No More do your song?
I'm very honored, you know.
Because, you know, I also heard it sampled in a Ice-T rap song.
I think it's cool. I've already done... These guys do it the best, I think. I really like the band as well. One of my favourite bands is Faith No More, of the new thing.
Ricky Rackman here. It's Monsters of Rock weekend here on MTV, and right now we're at Rip Magazine's 4-year anniversary, and this is quite the party tonight at the Hollywood Palladium. And what would a party be like without Ozzy Osbourne? How you doing?
Great.
Now, 1990 is coming to a close. Give us some highlights. What were some highlights for you for 1990?
I don't know, because I've been so busy writing songs, and I was writing in England. I moved out to LA. One of the highlights is now that I decided that we're going to move out to America. But permanently, you know. But it's more of my home out here. I know more people out here, and my music's out here, and you know.
Now, can you give us any predictions for what year is it? 1991, right? Give us a prediction, some Ozzy Osbourne predictions for 1991.
I don't know. I hope good rock and roll, you know, lives on. And I hope it's a good year, you know.
Oh, there you go. Right now, we're going to be playing a video from you. This is the new version. When was this one recorded? I mean,
I haven't got a clue. I've been in
I think it was 1990. No, the new version of the video.
I don't know, man.
It was 1990, I think.
Thanks for telling
I've got a good prediction.
Oh, wait,
Here's my
can we
prediction.
say?
The year after next, it'll be 1992.
It doesn't get much better than that. Here's Ozzy with Shot in the Dark live. Ricky Rackman here. Welcome to a very special edition of the Headbangers Ball. I'm extremely excited about this show. I mean, really excited about the show, and I'll tell you why in just a little bit. Not only is it a Metal Blocks edition, which means that we're going to have blocks of videos from bands like Guns N' Roses, Skid Row, Motley Crue, Slayer, and Metallica, and we're going to be playing the short film version of The Unforgiven. But I'm very excited because tonight, Ozzy Osbourne is the co-host of the entire Headbangers Ball.
Good to be here, Ricky.
Very nice to see you again. And who's this?
This is my little guy, Jack.
Hey, Jack.
Hi.
Who's your favorite singer?
Dad.
Dad?
That's the boy.
Good answer. So anyway, first of all, I just want to say I've seen a couple of the shows. I went to Arizona to see the show, and I had to go back and saw it again in L.A. On stage, you look great.
Well, I've been training. I decided halfway through making the No More Tears album. I suddenly thought, if I've got to go out, you know, on a long farewell tour, which, I mean, it's a farewell tour, which is, it's not going to be a short one. It's going to be as long as it lasts, you know, till I drop dead, I suppose. And I just started training, and I changed my diet, and I got a therapist, and I went through this whole change. I started lifting weights, started jogging, and all this good stuff. And it seems to be paying off, you know. I mean, the stamina I've got is like incredible.
Yeah, because the show is like almost a 2-hour show.
Yeah. When the kids are coming up to me in the install and going, Ozzy, man, you're better than ever. You know, so what I've been doing, I've been doing shows, then midnight installs till 3 and 4 in the morning, and sleep has become like a non-existent. I haven't slept in 3 or 4 days now. So last night was a bit wearing on me in LA here, but the crowd spur you on, man. You know, an Aussie crowd is a crowd to be seen, because
definitely
it's like you feel like a boxer in a boxing ring, you know, like Rocky Balboa, you know. Come on, keep on going, you know.
We'll be back and we'll talk a little bit about the crowds and the in-stores and all the crazy things that have been happening. And of course, we're going to have a metal block from Ozzy, including The Ultimate Sin, Crazy Babies. But right now, here is No More Tears from Ozzy Osbourne. Back to the Headbangers Ball. That was No More Tears from Ozzy Osbourne. And again, this is a lot of fun for me, because special guest co-host tonight is Ozzy Osbourne. And of course, joining him is Jack Osbourne, right?
My son and heir.
Jack, I have a question to ask you. What's it like having Ozzy as a dad?
Good.
Is it good? Get to have fun?
Yep.
Go to see a lot of his shows?
Yep.
What's your favorite Ozzy song?
Come on, think of one.
No, it is.
You like that one? Yeah, we just played the video. Tell us a little bit about the video. I mean, it's a great-looking video.
I mean, videos are not one of my greatest pastimes, because you've got 8 million producers, directors, and people running around with microphones, and they're all standing next to each other, talking to each other through loud hailers and whatnot. And it's like that. You think they were making like the next Gone with the Wind or something, you know. It's only a 3 or 4 minute video.
And the money they're spending on them now.
I mean, you know, so the latest video, which I'm not going to tell you the title because I don't want to give it away. So it just, we went in and we did it in 1 day, and it's come out fantastic. And No More Tears was a hard slog, because we got there very early in the morning, left very late the next night for 3 days. Then, on the last day, I had to fly to Japan, do some press. Then from Japan to Australia. Then from Australia back to Canada, and it was like I was like, you know.
It's been a real hectic schedule.
But doing them, you can't really see what these guys are at, you know, until they piece it together. And I was very pleased with the outcome, you know.
They look great. We're going to play another video from you guys, from you right now and your band, and this is The Ultimate Sin, and we'll talk a little bit about that after we play it. Here's a metal block from Ozzy. Welcome back to the Headbangers Ball. I'm Ricky Rackman, and I want to remind you one more time about the Bang, I say one more time, I'm going to remind you a lot. Bang in the New Year with Slayer contest. There's going to be details on that real soon, so listen up and enter. And of course, right now, my very special guest is Ozzy Osbourne, and we just came out of a block of Ozzy videos, and in that we played The Ultimate Sin, and I've heard other people say what the song is about, but no one better than you could tell us.
Well, The Ultimate Sin to me at that time was the atomic bomb, you know. I mean, through phases of my career, I've gone through various. Most of my songs are written on paranoia, you know, my fears, you know. And now that it's like East meets West, it's a lot easier, you know. I'm glad we got that Saddam Hussein in his place, you know, because people like that will start one, you know. Yeah. It's scary.
And Miracle Man was, of course, written about Jimmy Swaggart.
Yeah, well, he's a guy that preaches the holy book, and he puts people like me and the rest of us down, and then he's really just like the same as us all, you know.
And it seems like, I mean, with what happened with Clarence Thomas, nobody wanted to talk about that Jimmy Swaggart got caught again with a prostitute in India. So.
Yeah, but you know, we're all people, you know. I hope you use a condom.
But because he points the finger,
he puts, you know, my record sleeves up. This guy is Satan, you know. Well, what's the difference, you know? You know, it says somewhere in one of these books, beware of false prophets, you know.
Right.
I don't buy into it. I don't see that you have to pay to get closer to God. If God is there, and I believe, you know, there's a being stronger than myself, and I don't believe in the dark forces. I have fears of the dark forces, but, you know, you don't have to pay for that, you know.
Right.
You have to pay to an Ozzy concert.
And much better for you, too. We'll be back with metal blocks from Guns N' Roses and Queensryche, and, of course, more with Ozzy Osbourne right after these words. Welcome back to the Headbangers Ball, and tonight is one of the shows that'll probably go down as being one of the classic Headbangers Ball because Ozzy is the co-host for this entire show. And right before we went to that break, we showed some footage of you playing in Moscow.
Yeah, funnily enough, when I came off stage last night, I was absolutely fried, and some of the guys from Gorky Park were there, and they said, "Remember us?" And I'm going, it's like a flashback, you know. You were there, were you?
No. I wasn't invited. Everybody else from MTV was there,
everybody else in the world was there, you know. But that was an experience, man, that I'll never forget.
Now, I remember watching it on TV at home in Los Angeles, and there were a lot of people out there with big Ozzy banners. I mean, they were going nuts for your show.
You know, it was such a surprise to me. But mind you, what you got to take into consideration, I'm old enough to be some of these guys' fathers, you know. So I've been around a lot longer, so they've snuck some of my records through the underground system. There's a huge underground system in well, there was, but it's more open now. I really want to go back and play some more gigs, you know.
Really?
I mean, Metallica and AC/DC just played to 1 million people.
Wow. In one show?
One show.
Well, I mean, that's wild.
I mean, it's like they're so starved of Western music, and it's like they go crazy, you know. But the weirdest thing of all was the fact that the first 10 rows of people were the army. Then after the army were the audience, you know. And it was really weird. It was like, it's just like Nazis.
They'd never done anything like that, so I'm probably scared about bringing all these crazy rock and rollers to Moscow. We're going to be back, but right now it's time for a metal block from Guns N' Roses, including Don't Cry. But first, here's the one that started it all off for GNR. Here's Welcome to the Jungle. Here?
Yeah.
What are you going to be when you grow up, Jack? You going to be in a rock and roll band?
No, a diver.
You're going to be a diver?
Yeah.
Underwater?
Then in a underwater rock and roll band.
There you go. You like rock and roll?
Yeah.
What's your favourite band? You don't have to say me. Dad.
Okay,
another one.
It's because he doesn't have to go out and buy the records.
I have to.
Now, I mean, life on the road must be completely exhausting enough as it is, but you're also have done in-stores after the shows to meet fans, which, I mean, lasts until 3 in the morning all the time.
Well, you know, one thing that a lot of us tend to forget is the fact that without these kids, we wouldn't be in this life of luxury that we're living, you know. You know, there comes a point when it gets too crazy, and it did get too crazy, but it's my farewell tour. And so I said to Sharon, you know, I want to thank them in a more personal way than I can, and by doing in-store appearances. It is very tiring and wearing on me, but I love the guys because, you know, I mean, I'm 24 years doing this, and I've gone through generations to generations. Kids come to me in the store and go, I listened to you when I was 3, and I've gone all through the years here, and it's like, that's when it really hits home how long I've been doing it. You know?
Does it feel like that long?
No, it's gone like a flash, and if I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't change a thing.
Because watching your show, I've seen so many different kind of rock and roll bands play, and occasionally you'll see a band that's been together for 10 or 20 years, and it seems like they're playing the old stuff, but seeing Ozzy, you're still seeing a band that is very current as far as being rock and roll. It's not seeing an old-time band, it's seeing somebody that still seems like a new, very powerful
artist. Yeah, well, that's
artist.
one of the reasons I have younger players with me, you know. I mean, Zach spurs me on a lot. When it's like when you get it's like a football team. You know, you push each other. You know, you help each other out. It's great. I mean, you know, it gets tiring with all the physical training and dieting and whatever. But hey, I love it. You know, it's my life. It's my life.
We'll be back talking to Ozzy Osbourne throughout this entire show. Great, I'm having fun. And right now we're going to play a metal block from Queensryche featuring Empire. Now to start it off, here's Queensryche live from the home video. It's part of the band's special edition box set, which should be in your stores. Get it because there's only making a limited edition of it. It's called Operation Live Crime. And right now we're going to check out the debut of I Don't Believe in Love from Queensryche. Special edition of the Headbangers Ball tonight. Not only is it a metal blocks edition, but Ozzy Osbourne is the co-host, and of course, still joined with Jack.
Yeah.
So are you also like the family man?
You know, there's two sides of Ozzy. The one you see and the one you don't. If you want to see a bit of that, you know, you should get the video Don't Blame Me.
Which is great.
Which, when they approached me about doing that, I said, I'll do it as long as it's the truth, you know. And so there's parts of that video I can't watch when I was drinking and using. And then there's parts where I'm trying to go and I started getting myself together, you know. When I was back in England, you know, I was training by then, and I dropped a lot of weight. And I really want to go home. I mean, the thing is, people say to me, Ozzy, why was it taken three years since the last album? Because the reason why is it took a year to write, a year to record. Now I'm on the road for a year, you know. So it's like, that's the way it goes, you know. I think you just like go out and whistle an album. It comes out on vinyl, you know. This last album was very grueling. We got so much stuff left over. We could do another 2 albums, you know.
Because it seems like, I mean, for this album, I imagine the effort was really put into it because the end result is a brilliant album.
Well, it was the most collaborated album I've ever done since I left Black Sabbath, even ever, really, because, you know, Tony Iommi always had the last word with Sabbath, which we won't get into that. Yeah.
Now, obviously, you have been an influence for so many of today's bands. Are there any type of bands that are out there now? I mean, what was the last record you bought, and who are you listening to?
To be perfectly honest with you, and this is the truth, I don't really listen to many other bands, but I do really like the new Metallica album, I must confess. I'm beginning to like the Guns N' Roses one. To be honest with you, it's nothing to do with metal. I quite like the Michael Jackson song.
I like the Michael Jackson song, too. I haven't heard the new album yet, but I Said that before on the Headbangers Ball. I really like the new song.
I like music in general. I mean, this Headbangers thing, it's like, puts you in too much of a box, you know.
How about a duet with Ozzy and Michael Jackson?
I really don't think it would work.
I guess I pushed it there.
I'd end up biting his head off, or he'd probably jump over my head and run away or something.
Well, you mentioned before that Metallica was one of the bands that you're listening to, and right now we're going to have a metal block from Metallica, including one. But first, it's time for a very special airing of Metallica's short film, The Unforgiven. Ozzy Osbourne is our special co-host on tonight's Headbangers Ball. Still here with son Jack.
Yeah.
And the last time that we spoke to you was at Foundations Forum 91 when you had just received your Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yeah.
And one thing that you brought up then that scared me for a little bit, you mentioned it once tonight too, was you called this your farewell tour.
That's what I'm glad you mentioned that, actually, because a lot of kids have been saying, is this the end of Ozzy? It's my farewell tour, but I'm going to still continue to make records. But, you know, I mean, I've been on the road for 23 years. I've been away from home. I mean, when I go home, my dog attacks me, you know.
He's like, who's this guy?
And it's like, I want to spend some of my life with my kids, because I don't get to see them.
How many kids do you have? I've been on the road so long.
I got 2 from my first marriage and 3 from my second marriage.
Boys and girls?
Boys and girls.
So just imagining, trying to picture this, is that you're going to have a girl, and when she starts going out on dates, the son has to come over, and she's like, yeah, you'll have to meet my father. His name's Ozzy Osbourne, and this guy's going to go, this is your father?
Yeah, it's like one of the girls came home from school one day and says, Mummy, is it true Daddy kills people? And she, where'd you hear that from? You know. It's like the price you, I mean, all I am to them is Daddy, you know. But the difficulty I have is trying to become like normal again after being on the road, and I'm like crazy on the road, you know. And to calm down, and it's like Sharon goes to me, now we're at home now, we're relaxing. I never relax.
There's definitely 2 Ozzies.
Oh, no, 5 of them.
Right. Well, we're going to try to find out a little bit about all the different Ozzies, and we'll be back with him, of course. And we're also going to have a metal block from Skid Row, Warrior Soul, and more, of course, from Ozzy right after this. Stick around. Great show tonight. Welcome back to the Headbangers Ball. I'm having a blast, and I'm glad that you're sharing this very special evening with us, with Ozzy and, of course, Jack Osbourne. Right?
Yep.
You going to look at the camera and do your daddy's face?
Yeah.
Do it.
That's it, yeah.
Whose face is that?
That's.
Oh. Now, you're talking, you know, a little bit about the tour. I mean, going on, and I guess this being the farewell tour, this is probably why this is so important after the shows for you to meet all the fans.
Yeah.
And one thing that I've noticed going to a couple of the shows and also being a fan is that Ozzy fans, I mean, are Ozzy fans. I mean, there's just like 100% full out, especially at the shows. I mean, vocal.
It's kind of like, such a, you reach a peak that you go, I was trying to explain to somebody yesterday, it's like you go beyond the barrier because they spur you on, as I said earlier on, it's like a boxer. And he's like on his last legs on it, and then the crowd cheer him up and he knocks that guy out in the last round. You know, it's them people out there that give me the inspiration to get it on. I mean, because last night I was real tired, you know.
It was a great show.
For some unknown place, this energy just came on. It was from them kids, you know.
Because you always say in the show, the crazier they get, the crazier you get.
Yeah, but sometimes physically, I mean, this morning I woke up, my wife said to me, are you alive? I was like, you know.
Because I imagine now they're doing all these shows and then doing the in-stores after. I mean, most people get just so tired just doing the shows alone.
Well, I get tired, but, you know, it's part of the job. You know, I think it's about time people in my side of the business started having a little bit of more respect for the people that put us here, you know. You know, I'm no god, I'm just a regular guy. I've got kids, I've got a family, and without you guys out there, I ain't nobody, you know. That's great. Thank you for everything that you've given me, you know.
That's great. You okay? You still hanging in there, Jack?
Yep.
You having fun?
Yep.
Okay. Just tell us if everything's okay.
Okay.
We'll be back with Ozzy and, of course, with Jack Osbourne, because Ozzy is the very special co-host of the evening. But right now, it is a time for a metal block from Skid Row, including Wasted Time. Right now, here is Youth Gone Wild from Skid Row. Welcome back to the Headbangers Ball with Ozzy Osbourne as the co-host. And like I said, I've been going to some of the shows, and you chose to play in smaller venues this time. I mean, the shows are selling out like as soon as they go on sale, they're instantly sold out. Hottest ticket in town right now.
The reason why is because to be perfectly honest, I'm not going to be one of these idiots that goes and takes a package on the roads that lasts, in an arena and lasts 5 minutes. There's a recession, and plus the fact I like the closeness more, you know, because when you're playing in an arena, the first row is like 9 miles away, and I like doing it that way. It's kind of like it builds me up again, because don't take in consideration that I haven't done a gig for 2 years, you know. So this is kind of like my way of breaking myself back into the bigger gigs, which we're going to come and do next year. We're going to do a few more gigs at this level, and we're going to come back out next year with a big package or whatever my wife and the other people decide to put us out on.
When I say smaller venues, just want to elaborate that the smaller venues are not that small. I mean, last night at the Universal Amphitheater was like, what, 6,000 or something like that?
Something like that.
And I mean, they're sold out. I mean, I've been to the Universal Amphitheater several times, and I've never seen it that packed with the crowd going so nuts as they did last night. I mean, I had a blast. It's one of the fun shows when you walk out like sweating.
San Diego was a pretty happening. I mean, they've all been great audiences, you know.
Right. We're going to be back talking to Ozzy Osbourne, but right now is a metal block from a band that I'm a very big fan of. Corey, quite a little bit. The Slayer deadline for Banging the New Year with Slayer contest is December 2nd, so keep those cards and letters coming. Still here with Ozzy Osbourne. Now, we were talking about the shows and the tours, and now I'd like to talk a little bit about the home video. I've seen the home video, and it's not like your typical home video. I mean, it's very well done and seems pretty personal.
Well, when they approached me about doing that, I mean, I'd seen previous ones. I'd seen Paul McCartney's, and I'd seen other people's videos. And it was all about, like, how great I am and how wonderful it is to be a rock and roll star and all this. And I know, and if you're in the business, there is a downside to everything, you know. There's just when you got to go, oh my God, I've got to go out there again, or I mean, the problems I've had with alcohol and drugs, you know, which I'm now trying my best way to deal with, and all that, you know. I said, well, I only do a video as long as it's the truth, you know. You know, so I had a camera, and that's really weird to have a camera with you virtually 24 hours a day. And it's like you can't pick your nose with this lens coming in you, you know. But as I said earlier on, there's parts of that video that are, you know, there's a song on the album called Road to Nowhere, and it's the wreckage of my past keeps haunting me. That's one of the lines. And that's kind of that part of the video when I was out there, you know.
Is it tough for you to see some of the old footage of you, for instance, in the days that you were using?
Very, very, very tough. I mean, I'm not saying I'm all together. I'm going to a therapist. I'm not home and dry. I don't think I'll ever be home and dry. But I haven't drank alcohol for quite the longest time ever. And so far, so good. And I'm not going to go on about that too much because I've said it all before. And then I mean, some National Enquirer has found me lying face down in a pool of puke on a bar floor somewhere, you know.
Right.
So, you know, I'm trying, you know. You know, there's help out there. So,
great.
You know, I'm doing the best I can.
We're going to be back talking more with Ozzy. And we'll also have a Motley Crue metal block. So stick around. Great issue of the Headbangers Ball. Welcome back to the Headbangers Ball. Ozzy Osbourne is the co-host. We've been talking a little bit about the home video, Don't Blame Me, a very personal look at yourself.
Yeah.
And there's also some old footage of Black Sabbath.
I don't know, I had this box at home with some Super 8 film. You remember the old Super 8 cameras? And I'm filtering through it. I didn't even know that existed, you know. So I go to Sharon, and Sharon over to this guy called Jeb, who worked it all out, you know. I mean, I didn't even know it existed. I don't know. I think they have some of the dates mixed up there because thinking back, I couldn't have been there when the dates were, you know.
Right. Now I remember seeing, I think it was Live Aid, where they had the big Black Sabbath reunion. What was that like?
Very strange. It made me realise that for any to be perfectly truthful, the only reason I would ever think about rejoining Sabbath is for purely financial reasons, you know. Because I mean, I've gone in a different road, you know.
Sabbath had been, I mean, such an influential rock and roll band for so many years, but what people don't realize, Ozzy Osbourne as an artist, I mean, isn't Ozzy bigger than Black Sabbath was?
I don't go into all that, but what I said, I'll say what I said in that video. Don't blame me. If there wasn't a Black Sabbath, there wouldn't be an Ozzy, and if there wasn't an Ozzy, there wouldn't have been a Black Sabbath. So you know, it's the simplest way of keeping it. You know, and I don't care. I mean, they can. I wish them luck. You know.
Have you heard any of the Black Sabbath without you?
Well,
singing?
it's so confusing because there's like everybody's trying to sound like Ronnie James Dio. So I've just recently heard that Ronnie James Dio's rejoined. It could be another fake. I don't know.
Maybe it's because they can't sound like Ozzy. Right now, let's play a metal block from Motley Crue, including Dr. Feelgood, Wild Side, Anarchy in the UK. But first, here is the 1991 remixed version of Home Sweet Home from Decade of Decadence. Watching a little bit of the great Randy Rhoads in that video for Crazy Train.
Yeah, would you believe it? This next March, I believe it's the 10th year.
March 19th.
But March 19th is the 10th anniversary of his death. You know?
Sure doesn't seem like 10 years.
And we were playing a gig at, you got the information.
Yeah, March 19th, Ozzy's going to be playing at the LA Sports Arena.
And the proceeds for that gig are going to help to build him a tomb. And the reason for that is because where he's buried, people keep defacing the grave. And we're going to have it so no one can get to it, you know.
Because I guess fans try to tear up pieces of it.
It's like they keep taking the plaque and like Ozzy rules and Randy rules. And it's a very, you know, not nice. It's not very nice.
So the fans, Ozzy doesn't like when you do that?
I mean, you know, the guy was one, you know, and even when I play, like, there was one song in particular when I go on stage, like, when I sing Goodbye to Romance, sometimes I close up because my head flashes back to when we first wrote that together in my old house, you know. And it's like the whole tape runs, and it's like, and I have to get the audience to sing along with me because I mean, it's like real emotional, you know.
With so much history between being in Ozzy Osbourne and in Sabbath, when you're singing certain songs, do they bring back old times? And you can remember, like, when you're performing a song?
More so with my solo career than with the Black Sabbath career, because with Black Sabbath, all I was a singer with a band, and that's the way I was treated. And being solo, it's not that I had more control. It was my band, and I didn't feel like the lower end of the scale, because being in Black Sabbath, I didn't have any musical knowledge of music, like, so it just came from my head. But Randy was very good in the respect that he would sit with me and I would hum the melodies and he would work out the chord sequence, and it was such a relief to get the frustration out of me. Right. It was like a match made in heaven, you know. It was one of those things that, you know, it's like a phenomena that, you know, everybody, I believe, has one real good thing, or a lot of people have a lot of good things, but for once in my life, I'd found someone to open another door, you know. And since then, it's been great.
Wow. It's going to be back. Stick around. It's going to be a great show, Headbangers Ball. Right now, it's time for a metal block of Slayer now. Tendencies and a band who is opening up for Ozzy, and of course we are here with Ozzy and Jack Osbourne, the famous shark
It's not suicidal tendencies.
No, but we're going to play them and Infectious Grooves.
Oh, Infectious. I thought I'd correct you there.
See, I was hinting to them.
Oh.
You just blew the surprise for me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The other night I went to a club and saw a band called Leonard Skinhead, which was, I guess, a side thing with Zach playing guitar and singing.
I don't know what he does that. He does that for a hobby, I think.
He was doing like Leonard Skinner songs and Allman Brothers songs, and I mean, I was surprised that not only is Zach a brilliant guitar player, good singer too.
Yeah.
Now, when this album is more of a band collaboration, I mean, you work with Zach and Randy.
People have been saying, like, this is Ozzy, my most personal album. Well, how can it be my most personal album when Lemmy from Motorhead wrote the lyrics, most of the lyrics to Mama, I'm Coming Home?
Oh, that I didn't know.
I Don't Want to Change the World, Desire, and Hellraiser, you know, and only the lyrics we collaborated on that, and then the rest of the whole of the album was a total band collaboration. In fact, Michael Inez was the last guy to join because Geezer split, and he was got the bass of No More Tears, which was the last song we wrote, you know, which was the, you know, we've been working at it for like a year and a half, you know.
Right.
Because we wanted to put an album out that we were happy with every track.
Are you happy with every track?
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to say a couple of my favorite, well, we'll do that in a little bit. So stick around, we're going to be back with Ozzy right after the break. Really, really like the record. And I'd like to just pick out a couple of songs that I like, and maybe you could tell me a little bit about the songs.
Yeah.
For instance, Zombie Stomp.
It was just about, you know, it's self-explanatory, people getting out of it, and it's like you go to like any other clubs, you know, you've got a club, you've seen a few zombies stomping around.
Now, I don't want to change the world, which live, it seems like a lot of people, old fans and new fans, really dig that song.
Well, it's kind of an interesting song in the respect that my formula used to be like verse, chorus, middle eight, solo, verse, chorus, and out. And out of the blue came like this extra chorus after the solo, and it takes you on a kind of a ride. And I love doing that live.
Yeah, because live, I mean, I saw it last night or the other night, and it was a great song to watch live. Yeah. And everybody's singing along as much as they were singing along with the other ones.
I know, that's what absolutely amazed me, you know. It's an easy gig for me. They sing their gig for me.
Just go ahead, you take it.
You know, I mean, No More Tears, they all sing that, and it warms the cockles of my heart when I hear them singing it.
It's funny, if I didn't know the songs that were on the new albums, when you've done some of the songs, like Desire, which you play live, you would think, oh, this must be one of the classic Ozzy songs, because everybody knows every word to it, and it's one of the songs that's on the new album.
It's like, but when you think of the age group of the audience, and when I do War Pigs, and I do a line, and they do a line, maybe it's because of, what was that band who covered it last year?
Faith No More.
Faith No More. Maybe it's that they research.
And I think that it's also because it's a classic rock and roll song.
Yeah, I mean, that's like 20 years old,
right.
You know, same as Paranoid. People say, don't you ever get sick and tired of playing Paranoid? I still get a buzz out of that, and More Pigs, you know.
But it doesn't, when you hear the song, it doesn't sound like an oldies. It sounds like like it could be.
Well, nothing's original anymore. Everything what you hear has all been done before, you know. Like. I mean, there's nobody original.
I'm going to be back finding out more stuff, but right now, here's a block starting it off, and I don't have to tell you how much I love both of these bands because you're probably sick of me saying it. An old one from Suicidal Tendencies with Possessed to Skate, and also Infectious Grooves. Now, what is the tie? You probably know. Robert Trujillo and Mike Muir are in Infectious Grooves, and incidentally, Infectious Grooves is also the band that has been opening up for you.
Yeah, and also, I may be appearing on one of their videos soon.
Probably Therapy? A matter of fact, Ozzy sings background vocals on one of the Infectious Grooves songs.
It was a lot of fun. I mean, when I first saw it in Suicidal Tendencies, I thought their image to me was a bit wacky, but then when I met them, they're really great guys, and they're not out there, they're not out of their minds. They're really serious about what they're playing, but they get it on. You know?
Mike Mears told me several times that one of the thrills of his life was singing Therapy and then just looking at you doing background vocals. He's going, here is Ozzy singing background on, and
oh, it was an honor for me. That's the part of it that I really enjoy, is just going in and doing it. Like, I don't know, you know, I did a thing on a Gary Moore album, and I didn't have any pressure. I just sang it, and it was great, you know. And with Lita Ford's thing as well, I just went in, sang it, no pressure. It wasn't my song, so, you know, it was on her album. So, you know, it's great. It was the fun side of it.
Well, let's play a video from the band opening up for Ozzy. Here's Infectious Grooves with Punk It Up.
It's like kind of my goodbye to romance was my goodbye to Sabbath. And Mama, I'm Coming Home. It's like the farewell tour kind of thing, you know. But I love the song, and I think it sounds great.
Somebody told me that song was sort of written for Sharon, who's your wife and manager.
Yeah. Mama, she's Mama. You know.
Great.
I mean, I love her. I mean, nobody thought that we'd last as long as we did. I have. We've been through some hell of a crisis. I mean, when I was in the wild days, I just go on these disappearing months, you know, and come crawling back, stinking like a brewery, and with like death looming over my head. And she's had to put up with a lot with me. Any person that lives with a crazy guy like me.
What was the wildest story that isn't true that you've heard about Ozzy Osbourne?
Oh, I mean, Ozzy wouldn't go on stage until he cut the throats of 15 puppy dogs, and it's endless. And it's like, I mean, it's part of the business. So people want to believe that, because everybody likes a bad guy. You look at history, Robin Hood. I'm sure Robin Hood didn't rob the rich to save the poor. I'm sure he mugged everybody that went through his patch of the woods,
He gave some of it to a couple poor friends.
Yeah.
We're going to be back talking to Ozzy, and don't leave, because Miracle Man is coming up with Ozzy Osbourne. We've talked briefly about how important Zach is, for instance, in the band, but I'd just like to mention, ask you, what does Randy do to the band? Randy's been in Ozzy
Randy was as much of a collaborator as anybody in the band on this writing this last album. I mean, drummers never seem to get any credit, They're just looked upon as being like beating machines. But he came up with the melody line for "No More Tears." He came up with a lot of stuff, he deserves a little bit of recognition. So does Mikey.
Yeah, Mike is the newest member. I mean, and another hockey fan.
It's like so it's always the guitar player and the singer that get all the credit, but it shouldn't be that way, And that's what made me decide that the next project I do musically will be a total collaboration with other musicians, because I don't know what I'm. Can you play? Like a what key, X, I don't know.
Great. If you want to write to us here at the Headbangers Ball, believe me, we love to get your letters. I'm going to give you the address right now. It's Headbangers Ball, care of MT. Time for the very last video of the evening. And we'll be back for one last segment right after this. Here is Miracle Man from Ozzy Osbourne. That was Miracle Man from Ozzy. And once again, I want to remind you real quick, Slayer deadline, December 2nd. I want to show you something kind of funny. I went to the Ozzy Osbourne concert the other night, and here's the laminates. And I want to thank Missy from the Universal Amphitheater. But look at the spelling right here. Ozzie. So maybe this is a collector's item. Do you notice that?
That always
that's how they spell Ozzy Nelson.
I mean, it's like Ozzy and Harriet, isn't it?
Well, I also
Ozzy.
Might add on the back it says R-I-C-K-Y. So that's okay. That happens to me all the time. So, anyways, you're doing the little tour. I mean, it's not a little tour, and then going into the arena soon.
I'm gonna go home for Christmas, come back, and we're gonna bust balls, man. We're gonna just keep on going until I bring a hearse for me. I'm gonna keep. I want to go to Russia. I want to go to everywhere. I want to just keep, because it's my last tour. I'm gonna. It's a burnout. Tour till we drop.
And again, the shows are great. I want to thank you a lot. It was definitely a pleasure to have you here.
Pleasure, man. It's been a wonderful.
And any advice that you'd like to give some of the millions and millions of Ozzy fans out there?
Keep the faith, baby. Just keep the faith.
Jack, say anything out there, Jack?
Bye.
There you go. I'm Ricky Rackman. We'll see you next Saturday night. Remember to keep one foot in the gutter, one fist in the goal. Good night.
All right, you better turn on those lights and lock your doors, because coming up next here on MTV, it's This Is Horror.
This stuff is like real new. I mean, the stuff that you so high up on the charts. I mean, everybody seems to be getting into Ozzy now.
It's great. It's about time. It's only taken you 25 years, folks.
I mean, isn't it amazing that you've been a recording artist for so long, and right now is like the Ozzy Osbourne peak, right?
I don't know. I don't know whether I've peaked or I'm re-peaking or what. I don't understand any of it. But it's great because it's like, it's like I'm just carrying on the way I always have done. I've got a greatest loyal following, and it's just getting bigger and greater, And the funny thing of it all is, this was my announcement for my retirement tour. And it's like, I'm going, why couldn't this have happened like 4 years ago, man?
I want to ask you some questions about the retirement. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
Also coming up, we're going to have the Ball Buster competition, which is going to have Asphalt Ballet against Infectious Grooves, who were on tour with you earlier. And right now, let's play a video from Ozzy doing Paranoid live, and this is an early 80s MTV concert. Stick around. Ball in Philadelphia with Ozzy Osbourne. Now, the last segment, you spoke a little bit about this being your farewell concert tour. Now, what is really going on with that? I mean, I'm hearing different things.
Well, it's not so much my farewell. It's my farewell concert tour in such as I won't be living on the road as much anymore. I want to spend more time recording and more time at home with my kids and family and more time in the recording studio and shorter tours if I do go out. But you know me, Ricky, I'm going to go home after it's all said and done. I'm going to be sitting there going, yeah, I'm retired. Sharon, what do retired people do?
Golf.
I hate golf, I hate sports, I hate fishing, I hate... Get me a damn tour quick.
Because you're having a good time on the road right now, aren't you?
Man, it's great. I'm clean and sober, and it's just wonderful.
Now, I happened to wake up early morning a couple days ago and saw you on the Joan Rivers show.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting.
She seemed like she liked you, though.
Yeah, she's nice. She's a really nice lady. She's great. That was recorded before Christmas. You know, people were going on that night to the show. He ain't bust his leg again, you know. But that was recorded before Christmas when I broke my foot.
Now, that's another thing I want to talk about, and stick around because we will be talking about that stuff and more as we continue on the road with Ozzy Osbourne. With Ozzy Osbourne. Now, when we spoke a couple minutes ago, you were talking about your broken foot or ankle, I guess?
Yeah, no, one of my usual Ozzy Osbourne leaps went wrong in the heat of the moment, and I just thought I'd sprained it. And I went to it was the day before that I did the Infectious Grooves video, so on that was a day off, and I was on that set of the Infectious Grooves, I was like crippled walking around, and I said to Tony, my sidekick, I better go and I get this X-rayed, and the guy goes, in Detroit, you ain't going nowhere, man. You broke your ankle, your foot. So I said, I don't care. Gung-ho me. I put a cast on and carried on gigging. But when I got to New York, the cast had rubbed my ankle bone, skin away, and the bone got infected. And the guy says, "You're out of play, man. He says, because your bone's now infected. You've got to get off the road." And on my birthday, I was stuck in the Helmsley Palace. They had this huge party for me, waiting for me. There's me like I'm... You know?
Now, I heard that a lot of the shows that kids are coming up on stage with you, and you just recently got injured again.
Yeah, man, some guys like wanted to take my ribs home with him for a souvenir, so I'm in quite a bit of pain, but the gigs take the pain away.
Because I imagine, Ozzy fans are such fans of you that if they get up on stage with you, they go nuts.
So this guy comes, like the 300-pound guy, and he goes, "Ozzy, you're my hero." And I got my hands in there, and he goes, and I really felt myself like pop like a walnut, you know, like a. Oh, yeah, great, man.
We're going to be back talking to Ozzy in a little bit, but right now it's time for the Ball Buster competition. Now, remember a few weeks ago, Asphalt Ballet beat out COC with 75% of the vote. Tonight, Soul Survive from Asphalt Ballet goes up against Infectious Grooves Therapy, a video which Ozzy's got a little part in. Now, watch both videos and vote for your favorite. Guess which one he's going to vote for. The number to call is 1-900-370-0100. Each call costs only 50 cents. Here is the current Ball Buster champ. Road in Philadelphia with Ozzy Osbourne. Now, I understand March 26th at the LA Sports Arena, you're going to be playing a pretty important benefit.
Yeah, we're doing a benefit show to raise money to build Randy Rhoads' own personal tomb. And the reason for that is because people keep going to the family tomb, defacing the tomb, taking his plaque, doing all these weird black magic symbols and crap all over the place, which is really not cool. And I thought, well, it's about time the guy was laid to the rest and leave him alone. So his mother came to me with the plans. She said all the plans for his own special tomb to be built. It's wonderful, it's beautiful. And my country, the least I can do is, what I'm doing is all the money that is made at that gig goes to the money for the tomb. So, you know, Randy Rhoads in my mind will live on forever, you know.
Very cool. I want to talk about the live show a little bit. You've been playing for so long, you've got so many great songs, and unfortunately a concert can only be so long. Is it hard for you to pick and choose what songs you're going to play live?
It's kind of like people say, well, why don't you play more Sabbath? Why don't you play more of this album? You know, what I try and do, you can please some, but you can't please all. So I think, well, they haven't heard that one for so long, so we'll pull that one out tonight and we'll put that one in there. I change it around constantly, you know.
Are there any songs that you've been doing for years that you just... Now, do you still like to do Paranoid, or do you get bored of it?
Wonderful. Like,
really?
It's like it's like my anthem, you know. You know, I mean, some of those early Sabbath songs will always be my favourite songs, you know. Right. Some of the songs which I did with Randy will always be my favourite songs, and some of the things I did with Zach will always be my favourite songs, you know.
Great. We're going to let you get ready and do your sound check, and then we're going to talk to Ozzy a little bit after the show. So stick around as the Headbangers Ball continues from Philadelphia on the road with Ozzy. Headbangers Ball on the road in Philadelphia right now with Randy and Mike from Ozzy's band. Now, Mike, I understood that you helped collaborate with the song No More Tears.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We were in, where were we? L.A. at the time.
L.A., yeah.
L.A. Home of the Kings. And,
nice shirt, huh?
You know, to sport the colors. And me and Zach and Randy were all just in the rehearsal studio jamming around and came up with No More Tears and took on new shapes and forms. You know, it came out killer. Real excited about it, you know.
We actually started that bass riff, that doodle-doon, you know. Genius.
Randy, you've been in the band for a long time.
Yeah.
And how have you seen things change over the years?
Well, Ozzy's gotten skinnier. I've gotten fatter. Mike's gotten, his hair's growing longer. Just, I don't know, the more it changes, the more it remains the same. We're just doing the same thing. And just trying to do it for as long as we can, basically.
Because I personally think, and I've also heard a lot of other people say also, that this is Ozzy's best shows yet.
Yeah, I agree. It's the best band, you know, playing with Mike and Zach and Kevin, our keyboard player back there. It's great. It's been kicking ass everywhere we've been playing.
Having a good time?
Yeah. These small theaters are just great because we're so much closer to the audience. The energy is so incredible because they're right there, and half the time they're jumping on stage, you know, and attacking Ozzy, or you know, and then diving back into the audience. It's pretty manic.
Yeah, I heard you've been doing a little bit of stage diving yourself.
Yeah, it's my new form. I've discovered a new form of fun, and it's a lot of fun.
You going to be doing any of that tonight?
Well, we'll see. You know, I get caught up in the spur of the moment, you know, and I just got to go for it, you know, when the time is right. And hopefully the crowds have been really positive, really energetic, so hopefully we'll get it.
And tonight is sold out. 2 nights here, matter of fact.
Cool. Killer. Yeah, I'm sure I'll be diving in and ruining more of my clothes.
Well, stick around as the Headbangers Ball continues, and we'll also be seeing these guys with the rest of the band live on stage as the Headbangers Ball continues from Philadelphia. Ozzy, and right now we're here with Zach Wilde, of course, the guitar virtuoso of Ozzy's band. How's the tour been going so far?
It's cool, man.
You having a good time?
Yeah, just as long as they stocking that bus with beer.
That's what it takes to get you out on the road right now?
Yeah, I don't get paid. They just, you know, by case.
Now, how have all the cities been so far? I mean, you guys have been playing, like, just about every city in America.
Oh, it's cool. I mean, we've been doing it since it's the theaters, you know. It's really cool because the kids, because they're really close to the stage. So, you know, I mean, they get a chance to get jumping up on stage. The other day, this dude who must have about the size of Hulk Hogan, man, jumped up on stage, grabs Ozzy by the ribs, like, I love you, you know.
He was talking about that earlier.
He cracked like a rib or something, you know. But he's like, Patton, I will come back out. You know. So.
Now, there's talk about this being Ozzy's farewell tour. If that does happen and there's a big break, what kind of stuff are you going to be doing?
I'm going to...
Because a lot of guitar people have done solo albums. Have you ever thought about that?
Nah. I'm going to get a band together with Debbie Gibson after this. I
can see it. Debbie Gibson, Zach Wilde.
Well, she's got all the tattoos now and everything, so I mean...
Does she have a tattoo?
Yeah, she just got about 15 of them, so I mean...
Oh, sure she did.
She'll be good.
Have you seen them?
Oh, man.
We'll be back talking to Zach in a little bit. But right now it's time to play the triple thrash thread, the dance portion of the Headbangers Ball. Included in this is Megadeth, who've got a new album that they start recording right about today. Also a debut from Deliverance and Sepultura. Now a lot of people write to us and they say, what does Sepultura mean? Well, in Portuguese, which is their native language, Sepultura means grave. Now this is Desperate City, which is part of their home video, which was just released Monday, and it was shot live on their tour in Barcelona, Spain. This song is called Desperate City by Sepultura.
That David, Letterman has.
It's exactly one of those things. Ricky Rackman here, Headbangers Ball on the road with Ozzy in Philadelphia. Still here with Zach Wilde. Now, recently I was in L.A. at this cheesy little bar and saw this band, Leonard Skinhead. Want to tell me about them?
That's the dudes. No, it's just Greg and James from White Lion.
And you?
Yeah, and me, I guess, But, no, like, we just we'll have friends come up or whatever. Ron Young will come up when he wants to jam. But, no, we just do, like, just go out and it's just an excuse.
It was a lot of fun.
No, totally. It's just another excuse to go out and drink. But, no, we just go out and do, like, Almonds, Skinner.
Mountain.
Eagles, yeah.
ZZ Top.
Yeah, ZZ Top, just go out and have a good time, man, jam. Make Cream look like a, I mean, like they never jammed. It's like each song, we only do 4 songs, that's about 5.5 hours right there.
Everybody takes turn doing a solo.
Yeah, exactly, man.
So you have fun doing that kind of stuff?
Oh, I love it, man.
Cool.
I love it, it's great.
Well, we'll be back, and we'll see them, of course, live on stage as the Headbangers Ball continues on the road with Ozzy from Philadelphia.
What's up, Philly? My name's Ricky Rackman. How you doing? Check it out. We needed to find where the craziest Ozzy fans were, and somebody told me that they were in Philly. So, we said, hey, if the craziest fans are in Philly, why don't we bring the Headbangers Ball and film it tonight in Philly? Is that okay with you? Now, you're not going to let us down. Philly does have the craziest Ozzy fans, right? Okay, that's what I thought. Well, for the people that are at home that aren't lucky enough to be with these crazy people in Philly, we'll play an Ozzy video, Mama, I'm Coming Home. But for the rest of you, let's make some noise, because Ozzy's coming up.
Ricky Rackman here. Not bad seats, A. In the background, of course, Ozzy performing Snowblind. One thing about the classic Black Sabbath songs is even if they were released today, they'd be current, they definitely kick. So for those of you at home, check out Ozzy live.
Gathered in their masses, minds and blood destruction. Body burning.
Tower Theater in Philadelphia. Ozzy, Zach, Mike, and Randy live on stage doing Goodbye to Romance, a song that's always emotional for Ozzy to play because it was the first song that he ever wrote with Randy Rhoads. Now once again, let's check out some of Ozzy caught live at the Tower Theater in Philadelphia.
Good
like this that I really love my job. Stay tuned for more live Ozzy action on the way.
Backstage at the Tower Theater in Philadelphia with Ozzy Osbourne. Well, the show went good.
It was great fun. I was in a bit of pain, but what's pain amongst friends?
Yeah, because your ribs, I guess, was starting to act up a little bit.
Well, it's sore, you know. It's like I've torn some cartilage in my ribs. So every time I do a leap and a bound, it's like... but, you know, it's all part of the show, folks, and the show must go on.
But you like doing it, don't you?
I live for it, you know. It's funnily enough, this is supposed to be my farewell tour. I've never felt so good. I've never had so much confidence. You know, I'm clean and sober. That ain't no fake. You know, it's like I don't go back to my hotel room and open a bottle of Jack Daniels and get all the drugs or it. It's real, for real. And I'm having a real... I never thought the day would ever come when I could honestly live a day without alcohol. And it's great. For now, you know, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but I live in today, one day at a time. It's great.
Now, this is the third time I've seen you on this tour. Can't keep me away from it. I like the show. And other people also have told me that they think you're playing better live than you ever have. You look better than you ever have.
Well, I train every day. I get on a life cycle. I lift weights. I don't eat red meat. I don't have any dairy products. I've got all totally pure.
Chocolate?
No chocolate. No.
Where's the fun?
No, well, just the fun for me is seeing those kids having a great time. I mean, when I was in the past, I mean, people were giving up on me. They're going, oh man, he's going too far over the top. He'll end up dead any day now. And one morning, I just woke up and I thought, the end. I've got a beginning of a new life, you know. And I feel better. I really honestly mean this. I feel better now than I ever have in my life.
I mean, it's got to make you feel great when all those kids just screaming Ozzy over and over and over again.
It's like I can deliver now, whereas before they would scream Ozzy, but I could never deliver because I was too hungover from the night before. So it's great. It's great. I love it.
Another thing that was interesting, Joe Frazier was backstage. He gave you this?
Yeah, that's...
Smoking Joe Frazier, I guess, as an Ozzy fan?
That's astounding. I mean, I'm honored the guy can't come to my show. That picture's going to be on my wall.
How's Jack? How's all your kids?
I haven't seen him for some time now, but I speak to him every day on the phone. That seems to be... You know, I spoke to my son tonight, and he goes, "Hey, Dad, break a leg," you know.
You already did that, though, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
right?
but it's like, you know, I teach him as I go along, you know, and he goes, "Have a good show," and it's an old showbiz thing. You never say, "Have a good show," you say, "Break a leg." So every time I speak to him, he goes, "You ever got a show tonight, Dad?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, break a leg."
That's great. Once again, thank you very much. I mean, honestly, I have a great time watching your shows, and getting to meet you is like a thrill because I obviously am a fan, and I'm sure I'll run into you at other Ozzy shows.
Yeah.
Right now, let's play a video from Ozzy. Here is Breaking All the Rules.
Texas last week. It was the first time Ozzy played there since February 1982, when he was arrested for public drunkenness and banned from the city for 10 years after urinating on the Alamo. Ozzy marked the end of the ban not only by performing in San Antonio, but also by donating $10,000 to the Daughters of the Republic of Texas for restoration and maintenance of the Alamo. Ozzy says that whole Alamo incident is part of a drug-addled past which he's put behind him.
That's one of the downfalls of alcohol and drugs. When you're stupid, you do stupid things. And one of the stupid things I did was urinate up the Alamo, which is one of, you know, singing a song, Road to Nowhere, the wreckage of my past keeps haunting me, it just won't leave me alone. I'm not really proud of it, but nevertheless, it happened. I understand that I offended an awful lot of people, and I'm not trying to say, oh, please forgive me, because the bottom of the line, I've done it, and I've tried to make amends.
Meanwhile, Ozzy has set up a reunion with his original band Black Sabbath, which he left in 1979. Osbourne has invited his old bandmates to join him on stage in Los Angeles next month for the last shows of what he's calling his final tour. Sabbath guitarist Tony Iommi, bassist Geezer Butler, and drummer Vinny Appice have agreed to join Ozzy November 14th and 15th at the Pacific Coast Amphitheater. Original Black Sabbath drummer Bill Ward, who left the band in 1981, will also be there, but current Black Sabbath vocalist Ronnie James Dio says he will not take part in the reunion, explaining, quote, "This is Ozzy's moment, his chance to look back over a long and successful career, and I respect that." In political news,
I don't know him. I've only ever met him maybe once or twice in passing. I have nothing against Ronnie James Dio. I happen to think he's a very fine singer. I think it's his choice. You know, it has nothing to bear on me. Apparently he's not doing the show. It's his choice. I don't care. Whoever they get to sing in front of them, it doesn't matter. There's no plans on me doing an actual set with me singing in front of Black Sabbath. No.
His career, he said, was longtime metal star Ozzy Osbourne, who also staged a brief reunion with his old bandmates in Black Sabbath. You are there.
Terminator, man. He'll be back forever, man.
Last night as he walked off, he was limping.
I wish Ozzy would be my dad.
As long as people are going to buy tickets, he's going to be out here.
With such an overwhelming feeling of optimism, it's hard to believe that this was the last night of Ozzy Osbourne's No More Tours tour. So is this the last fans will be hearing of the metal veteran?
I don't know what's in the pipeline. I had to come to a decision that I can't. I've stepped off the wheel.
For this last stop on the tour, Ozzy had a very special opening act, Black Sabbath, the band he used to front. However, for these dates, the frontman role was assumed by Rob Halford.
We weren't sure whether we were going to be able to do this show, you know, and then when Rob sort of put up to do it and we rehearsed, we knew straight away as soon as we got together, it was just bloody great.
Current Sabbath lead vocalist Ronnie James Dio told us recently that he didn't want to participate in this concert because it was Ozzy's night to shine. But Ozzy has a slightly varied interpretation of the pullout.
Ronnie wouldn't do it, I don't know for what reason. I'm not in the game of slagging people. But, you know, the show went on anyway, you know, and it was a good show, and people went away happy. The crowd, it keeps me going. I mean, even when I'm down on energy, and that crowd lifts me above my whatever pain or whatever I'm going through.
After the Sabbath Halford set, Ozzy and his band wowed the crowd for an hour and 45 minutes. And for the finale, Ozzy reunited with the original Black Sabbath for a half hour.
We got Black Sabbath back, man! What is this that stands before me? When we walked on the stage, the audience was just like, ah. But it was a lot of fun, and everybody's changed so much, you know. Before we were all this lunatic, drunken, drug addict wrecks, but it's like, now we're just learning we're not drug addict wrecks anymore.
So is this the final stop in Ozzy's touring career? Don't count on it.
I've now have the opportunity to get off the treadmill for a while and be John Michael Osbourne for a while, which I haven't been since I left school.